Installing a Serena shade isn't difficult and only takes about 15 minutes. Here's how to install an inside mount Serena shade. Before you begin, open your box and make sure you have all the necessary parts: the shade, mounting brackets, and screws. You'll also need a cordless drill, a 3/32" drill bit, a No. 2 Phillips drill bit and screwdriver, a pencil, a tape measure, and 4 or 6 D alkaline batteries, depending on the shade's size if you purchased a battery-powered shade. The first thing you should do is hold the shade up to the window to make sure it's the correct size. Then use a pencil to mark where you'll need to install the mounting brackets. For an inside mount shade, align the brackets with the front end of the window trim 2 inches in from each end of the jamb. Note: shades wider than 45 inches will need a third bracket. Install this bracket 2 inches to the left of the drive, the box in the middle of the headrail. If the shade is wider than 72 inches, you'll need to install a third and fourth bracket. Install each of these 1/3 of the way in from the outer brackets. Using the brackets as a guide, mark hole locations and then pre-drill holes for the screws. Install the mounting brackets using the provided screws. Place each bracket flush against the front of the window frame and, using the cordless drill, drive each screw through the holes in the top of the bracket. Important: make sure the brackets are aligned with each other. If they aren't aligned, the shade may not operate properly. If you'll be controlling your Serena shades with the Pico wireless control, you'll need to reposition the antenna holder. If you're controlling your shade with an IR remote, your shade won't have an antenna. Unsnap the antenna holder from the headrail and move it out to the operating position behind the headrail. Then snap it into place. Next, install the shade in the brackets. Now, holding the shade in both hands, tilt the top of the shade slightly away from you and hook the front edge into the brackets behind the battery release tabs. Then, gently tilt the shade down at each bracket and firmly press the bottom of the headrail until you hear it click into place. Important: make sure not to catch any fabric cells in the brackets. Now you can install the batteries if you have a battery-powered shade. Press the battery release tabs above the headrail. The headrail will tilt forward, exposing the battery trays. Install the batteries as indicated in the battery trays. For best battery life, use only D-size alkaline batteries. Don't mix old and new batteries or battery types, or use carbon zinc batteries. Also, don't use rechargeable batteries. Once all the batteries are in place, the LED indicator light will flash briefly. Grasp the headrail with both hands and tilt it back into the brackets, pressing gently until you hear a click. If you have a shade that uses the plug-in power supply instead of batteries, attaching the power supply is simple. Press both battery release tabs above the headrail to expose the cable. Uncoil the cable and plug it into the plug-in power supply. Then tilt the headrail back into place and plug the plug-in power supply into an outlet. Your shade is now powered. If you have any questions regarding installing your Serena shades, please call Serena Support at 1-888-445-8063. Our support staff is available to help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.